Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is taken from a normal game, and this video is going to be focused on one of the prismatic augments added in set 7.5. That is the Age of Dragons augment, which leads to a very unique playstyle. We are going to take a little bit to get to that. It is not an augment you can get off of the very first augment choice. So if you only want to see that gameplay, feel free to fast forward about 10 minutes or so until that pops up. Otherwise, I will cast the beginning of the game as usual so that you can see how the whole game played out. And I've always felt like it makes a lot more logical sense if you watch the first part of the game instead of just jumping ahead. But, you know, not everyone has time for that. I understand that. So feel free to jump ahead if that's what you're interested in. Alrighty, so we have another patch coming up soon for Teamfight Tactics. We've been on this current one for about 2 weeks now. I think there was a very, very small p-patch, but they really tweaked almost nothing, so it was barely worthy of the name. That is going to be coming out probably right around the time that this video gets posted. I always record these a day or two before they get posted so that there's time to do the minimal editing that I do on them. As of right now, I don't know what's going to be in that patch. I suspect that they will shake things up a little bit because we've just been in a relatively stable game state for the last couple of weeks. In this game in particular, I was just playing a normal game, just for fun, nothing in particular. I actually have not played a single ranked game yet in set 7.5. I got to do that at some point in time. You can see it's not a huge priority for me to do that. And I didn't have anything in particular in mind coming into this game, but, you know, I random my way into 4 Skarners here. I random my way into an early Lux. And my immediate thinking is, well, this looks like it's a game where I should probably play an Astral Opening, and then I can just figure out what the heck I'm going to do from there. So, yep, I've got the 2-star Skarner, I've got a Lux, I have Malphite here. So, as usual, if you get Astral units at the opener, it's usually good to just play the Astral Opening because it's going to generate a little bit of additional income. Maybe a little bit too easy to play Astral right now. I wouldn't be surprised if the numbers for this get hit a little bit. And by the way, I was trying to sell so I could pre-level to level 4, but unfortunately I didn't manage to do that. Out of these options, I was intrigued by the Swift Shot Crest. I was like, you know, I could try to play reroll Yone with that, but I didn't have any units that were Swift Shot, so I decided to pass. And then, of course, a Yone pops up in the shop as soon as that happens, and I was like, kind of wish I'd taken the Swift Shot option. Could have just played reroll Yone, which is a lot of fun. And excuse me, I've been trying to get a game like that I could put up on YouTube. I actually have played one game with Swift Shot Yone. You don't get to play it too often because you kind of need to hit a Swift Shot emblem at the very start of the game. And the developers took Earth Spatula out of the game as an augment choice, which makes it a lot harder to make those early spatula recipes as compared to before. So that's a route not taken for this game. Instead, I take Jeweled Lotus, which is just, again, kind of generically good for spellcasting comps. I've also feel like it's good to be able to take that at the start of the game, because if you do that, then you can kind of play into it. If you take Jeweled Lotus for like your third augment, you don't have kind of the rest of the game to itemize around it. I am not the only one who's thinking this way. The person I'm up against is also playing an Astral Opener and is also taking Jeweled Lotus. Unfortunately for me, they have a 2-star Ezreal and a 2-star Nidalee, and that is significantly better than anything that I have. I have 2-star Skarner, which is nice, but I don't really have any damage. So Ezreal with an Archangel Staff and also having Jeweled Lotus so that spells crit is going to cut right through my board pretty quickly. Anyway, I will go ahead and pick up the Vlad. I have no real intention of playing Nidalee, so I saw that. That's probably a mistake. I should probably hold the Nidalee just because it doesn't put me over another income threshold to have Nidalee on my bench. There's no reason not to just hold that unit in case I might random my way into Nidalee 2-star next round, so that's a bit of a mistake right there, but I am planning on playing through the Lux here in the early going. You also see me checking some of these other boards right now. I feel like my board is like okay, but not especially good right now. I would feel a lot better if I had a completed item. Like Skarner has half of a frontline item, and Lux has a glove, which is quite nice when you have Jeweled Lotus because it means you're automatically going to get that innate additional crit chance. Jeweled Lotus means that all the spells have it can innately crit. So I would love to get like a sword to make a Infinity Edge for this. That would be quite nice. But by the way, look at what Lux did. She left the Varus on, I don't know, 20 HP, something like that. 23 HP. So it was like, I mean, I would have lost that round anyway, but I would have liked to have killed one more unit. That would have been nice to have there. And like, look, there is another Nidalee in my shop, so like I could still be holding 2 Nidalees here. and then I might be close to Nidalee 2-star. That does matter, especially for Astral, because the Astral orb quality is based on the star level of your Astral units. I've mentioned that in a couple of different videos, but that's basically the way that the trait works. You count up the star levels of all the Astral units you're playing, and the higher that is, the better the quality of the orbs. Right now, I have 4 star levels for Astral, 2 for Skarner, 2 for Vlad, 2 for Skarner, 1 for Vlad, 1 for Lux, 2, 1, 1, so that's 4. And that's a pretty low quality orb. The average value is like 1.2 gold. You don't really get much of anything when you only have 4 star levels of Astral in. The big breakpoints for the trait are the orb quality goes up significantly at 7 star levels, and then it goes up again at 10. But you do get a little bit better by going from like 3 to 4 and then from 4 to 5. It does get better with each star level, but the big breakpoints are at 7 and then at 10 if you can get that many Astral units. So anyway, this fight's relatively close, but we're able to punch through the front lines and able to win that round. And so I have lost the first 2 rounds and then won the last round. I actually get first pick on the carousel here, which is pretty nice. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for either another frontline item to pair with the Skarner or an item to pair with the Lux. And I decide that I will emphasize the Lux's items, and I will go ahead and grab the sword so I can make Infinity Edge. Again, it's going to be a great item with Jeweled Lotus. This means that I do not need to build a spell crit item. All the spells will innately crit, so I don't need to build a Jeweled Gauntlet. Spells are already crit, and that means Infinity Edge is going to be great on any spellcaster. So I definitely want one of these, and I'll just build it right away. It would probably be better for win streaking purposes to get another item on Skarner, because frontline is more of a weakness for me right now than damage per se, but I was able to get this item on a 2-star Twitch, and that sells for a reasonably solid amount of gold. Alright, so I go ahead and level to 5. I'm going to put in the Talia, because that puts Mage Trait in play now. Vlad and Lux will double cast. And of course, they will cast at reduced ability power, but we'll still get the double cast, which is going to be nice. I feel like my board is okay. I don't think that this is too bad. I do wish I had some kind of mana generation on Lux. If I had like a Spear of Shojin so she would cast more often, that would be better than having the Infinity Edge right now, because she hits quite hard, but the problem is she doesn't cast very frequently. Look how slow this is. With no mana generation, she has to auto-attack over and over and over again. I mean, when she actually casts, she does an awful lot of damage, although for some reason, Lux like stepped to the side. She was like on a perfect diagonal, and then she like stepped to the side, so she missed a bunch of the units. Not quite sure what happened there, but we're definitely going to beat this person. This person's playing Cluttered Mind, which means that they have a great econ trait. In terms of board strength, they're not looking so hot, but they do have a good econ trait. And then there's going to be another Lux in the store, and I'm still getting more Nidalees. I kind of wish these had been Vlad's instead of Nidalees. Would really like to have had Vlad 2-star by now, but oh well, at least it is generating some additional income. So far, I've been getting 1 gold per round from the Astral trait, so I've gotten, about 4 extra gold? Might not sound like much, but it actually does help quite a bit if you're getting that +1 gold each round, especially because I have not been able to get onto a big win or loss streak so far. 2 losses, then 2 wins. Now, I would love to win this round. Unfortunately, I'm not quite positioned the way I would want. I shifted Lux over to the right-hand side because there was an assassin board that was going to jump on her if she was on left-hand. But you can see now she's not really aimed on the diagonal as well as she would have been if she had been on the left-hand side. Like, she's not hitting the Kaisa, she's not hitting the Talia, and those are probably the strongest units on this person's board. They have cybernetic uplink, so the Kaisa, Talia are generating additional mana, and it looks like my front line's not quite going to hold up long enough. I mean, it's close, don't get me wrong, but pretty sure 1-star Lux and 1-star Talia do not beat 2-star Talia here. Can we kill 1 more unit here? No, not quite. So, not terrible, but not an amazing stage 2 either. Somewhere in between. Like I said, not great, not terrible. At least I will hit 2-star Vlad here, so that's not bad. Now I'll be up to 5 Astral Star levels. So 2, 2, and 1 on my units. And I'll pick up the Varus as well, because if I can't find something else, then I can always play Varus for another star level of Astral. That would get me to 6. He wouldn't particularly fit this board, but it would be better than anything else I can see to toss in there right now. I guess I could put in a Lagoon unit, but I mean, I'm not going to be playing Lagoon this game, so it seems unlikely I'm going to get enough Lagoon stacks to matter at all. Alright, well, as far as the minion run goes, there is in fact a Lagoon unit. I could play that Zeri, but I think I'd rather sell, and I was like, wait, am I going to get any item components here? I've been getting gold, but not item components. And then I get a bow, so I was like, that is not what I was looking for. I really would have liked, another belt for Warmogs, a vest to make Sunfire Cape. A vest also could have been Gargoyle Stone Plate. I wouldn't have minded a rod or a tear. or another glove. In fact, I think bow is probably the single thing I least wanted to get out of that. But it is what it is. I can't really make very good use of it. So I will do the best that I can with this situation and make a Zerat portal. I don't love that item, but I do want to get something out of it. I don't want to have the bow just sit here. I'm definitely going to play some kind of spellcasting comp because I've got the Jeweled Lotus. That's guaranteed. So I don't feel bad about using the bow on a Zerat portal. I'm not going to need it for like a Rage Blade. I'm not going to need it for Giant Slayer or something. I'm fine with using it for a frontline item. All right, well, I'm up against this person. I believe this is the person I hit in the first or second round of the game because this is the other person with Jeweled Lotus. Yeah, this is the person I saw before because they have Ezreal with Jeweled Lotus. But what the? Somehow they made 3-star Nidalee? I was like, wait, what? How did you make 3-star Nidalee so easily? I guess that they rolled it down on level 5. I guess. And they were able to hit that unit pretty quickly. So I can't win that fight. I'm actually pretty happy that I killed 3 units. But yeah, not just kind of in a mediocre place in this game right now. Well, the next augment is Prismatic, and I'm going to reroll it. And oh, Age of Dragons. If your team has 3+ dragons, every 4th attack from a dragon fires a blast that deals magic damage equal to 30% of the target's maximum health. Gain a Namzi, Zippy, and a tier 4 dragon. I was very much debating. I was like, do I want to play this? Do I just take Stand United? Stand United's always going to be useful. Yeah, you can see how long I'm taking to pick this. I was like, I've never played this before. You know what? Let's just try it. Let's just try to play Age of Dragons. So this is a really interesting augment. It's prismatic, so you don't see it very often. As it says, if you have 3 dragons in, every 4th auto attack deals magic damage equal to 30% of the target's maximum health. So basically your dragon units get the ability of the Elder Dragon from Standard League of Legends. Only instead of it being an execute, you deal percentage of their max HP every 4th auto attack. It even uses the same little graphic effect from normal League of Legends. That said, I have never played this augment before, and it's kind of a tricky one to use because you got to get 3 dragons in or it does nothing. And that means like reconfiguring your whole board to take advantage of dragon units. By the way, this fight's sad. I don't kill anything. I get the set down to like 1% HP, but I don't kill anything. I honestly just didn't even have time to get my board in. So I was like, all right, I think I can play this. Sadly, I hit the 2-star Lux right as I do this. I actually should not have bought the Lux because now Lux is going to sell for 5 gold instead of selling individual components for 6 gold. So I actually lost 1 gold by making the Lux 2-star. It's just like an instinctual habit. You see the by instinct you see the 2-star and you go ahead and look to make that unit. So I need to get another dragon unit on the board in order to do this. So I was like, I have to sell everything in order to do this. So I do have Age of Dragons in play, but I don't actually get time to put all of the units where I want them. They're not even around the Jade statue yet. Excuse me. So this is kind of uncharted territory for me right now. I've got Namzi in. I have the Zippy in. You always get a Namzi and you always get a Zippy when you take this augment. And then you get a random tier 4 drag or a random dragon at the 4-cost tier. I have gotten a Shioyu, but like you can see, I am not set up to play this comp just yet. And you can see it does not go well. I just get absolutely crushed in this round. Now, granted, that was the win streaking player. That person's playing a Darkflight team comp, and I believe they took +1 at Darkflight and then another +1 Darkflight. So I think they actually are getting close to 8 Darkflight with their team set up there. So granted, that was the strongest person in the lobby, but still, it wasn't even remotely close. And I really just need to now build this team composition like from scratch. This is the biggest weakness of this augment. In the data, Age of Dragons it's good, but it's not like amazing. It scores out as being maybe like the 10th or 15th best, somewhere like the 10th to 15th best prismatic range. So it's a good augment, but it's certainly not like crazy overpowered or anything like that. All right, well, anyway, I am going to go ahead and level to 7 so I can play another unit. It's a little bit dangerous when you only have you only have 3 units on the board if you're doing this at level if you're doing this at level 6 when I took that initially. So I go to level 7. I did get a lot of gold by selling my whole Astral board, and now I'm just looking to try to roll a bit and see what units I can hit. So I was like, so remember, I have to play 3 of these dragons in order to get the Age of Dragons benefit, and I definitely want Idis to be one of them. So fortunately, I'm able to find Idis, and also fortunately, one of the items, the item turns out to be Mogul's Mail. This is actually quite nice to have because I really do need frontline items. This is going to give Idis a little bit of extra armor and magic resistance, and hopefully I can stack up the 2 gold each round. Because another thing about the dragon boards is they are very, very expensive. All the dragons are super expensive units, and they're really not that great at 1-star. You kind of need to 2-star them to make it work. So I've got Zippy in there. Zippy's flying around hitting people in the back lines, but my main carry right now is the Namzi. It is an Evoker Namzi this round, or in this particular game, which is a little bit unfortunate because Evoker Namzi is one of the more difficult ones to play with other units. Evoker Namzi is generally seen as being the weakest of the Namzis, at least in this patch. That said, I believe that Headwinder looked at the data on this when I was talking about this game, and he said Evoker Namzi actually does slightly better with Age of Dragons than the Namzis that are the Mage and the Cannoneer version. I guess it's definitely better than Cannoneer. That would be bad if it was Cannoneer. But Mage would be nice. Mage I could then play with Soam, and that would actually be pretty good. Because ultimately what I want to do with this team composition is I want to get to level 8 and level 9, and I need to play a 4-dragon board, and I really want to get into the 5-cost dragons. Like, that's what you're shooting for with this. The problem is getting there, right? Like, if I can get to the point where I'm playing Shyvana and playing Alshin and playing Terra, like, I'm going to be in amazing shape. But the issue is I have to get there. And I am a long way away from getting there, because the only realistic way to 2-star those units is to get to level 9. I mean, like, maybe if the next augment is also prismatic and it's high-end shopping or something, then yes, then I'll be okay. But, like, clearly my board is not even remotely close to level 9, and I'm also not close to 2-starring these dragons right now. So what we need to do now is we need to stabilize. What I need to do is roll some more gold at level 7. I need to 2-star some of these dragons. This board is not strong enough. Remember, it is a prismatic lobby, so everyone got a lot stronger when they took that prismatic augment. I really need to 2-star some of these units, in particular Namzi, and I guess the Zippy as well, though Zippy is not as crucial to this team composition. I really need to 2-star these units just so they can tank longer, so that they can survive, so that they can get off more of those Elder Dragon buffed auto attacks, and just hang in these fights so I can last long enough to win some of them. All right, so I'm going to roll here. I am not going to try to fast 8. I'm going to try to roll and 2-star these dragons. Remember, I have fewer units on the board, so the units that are on the board need to be stronger. I actually get a Yasuo here, which is really interesting, but I don't see how I can play Yasuo on this board. Like, I just don't see how I can play him as a unit right now. And then I've got some items which are pretty interesting here. I want to make some use out of these items. I was like, well, I can make Ionic Spark on Idis. That's actually going to be pretty good, because remember, the blasts that come out of the dragon come out as percentage of magic damage. It's 30% of the target's max health as magic damage. So remember, every 4th auto attack we get that big blast. You can see the animations popping up here periodically. It's 30% of the target's max health, but it is as magic damage. It's not physical damage. It's not true damage. It's magic damage. So the Ionic Spark is really good here, because it's going to cut the magic resistance of these other teams and make it so those attacks deal more damage. Now, this fight's close. I'm up against someone who did take high-end shopping, and they used that to find a Shyvana at level 8, but Zippy's got me. Zippy is right on that person, and Zippy's going to be able to finish off the fight. Well, we've got our last augment here, and 2 of the 3 are really no good at all. It's not Heroic Presence. Guardians is not going to do much of anything. It's not Battle Mage. I'm not going to frontline all my units. I guess it's got to be the Evoker Crest, which is like, ugh, I don't know about that. But it's actually pretty good in this game to get the Evoker Crest. I'm just going to go ahead and stuff this on Rakan. Rakan is a very useful unit to play in this team composition because of all his traits. He has Rage Wing, which is not in play now, but if I can find Shyvana, I will definitely play her. I'm hoping to find a Shyvana to replace Zippy. That's the big replacement I would make there. He also has the Guardian trait, so he pairs well with the Idis. So he's going to give Idis Guardian trait. And then he also has Mystic trait, and that's going to be really useful because I want my next unit in to be Shioyu. Now, I had a Shioyu earlier, but I dropped it so I could play Idis. I want to get Shioyu in because that will give me the Jade Statue. Jade Statue is really nice when you're playing a board like this because you're playing fewer units. That means everyone can stand next to the Jade Statues just fine. I also want Shioyu because she will give me Mystic trait, and that also will pair with Rakan. And now Rakan also has Evoker trait as well. So that's going to pair really well with my Evoker Namzi. I get 2 ranks in the trait of Evoker from playing the Namzi. I get 1 from Namzi herself, and then 1 from the trainer, which is Lulu. And then Rakan, who is now also an Evoker, gives me another rank of the trait as well. So Rakan actually has 4 traits right now. And by the way, there is the Shioyu. So I decide, you know what, screw this. I'm just going to go ahead and level to 8 right now. By the way, the video skips here, but that's okay. We're going to be able to avoid that. I'm just going to go to level 8 right now. And so that way I can play Shioyu as well. And now Shioyu will give me another person who gives the Dragon's Breath. We'll get Mystic trait in. And we also get the Jade statues that we can crowd around. Plus, we get another rank of the Dragon trait. Now, if you haven't played a lot of 7.5, you might be like, wait a minute, you leveled to 8. That was only one level up. Dragons cost 2 unit slots. Why were we able to put Shioyu in? Doesn't that unit cost 2 slots? Well, that's the big thing about getting to 4 dragons. Again, the Dragon trait in set 6.5 or 7.5 works much like the Guild trait. You get stacking bonuses from putting the Dragon units in. Dragon 4 is +1 team size. So basically, the 4th Dragon only counts as 1 unit slot, not as 2. We've actually got a really close fight here right now. I thought for sure I was going to lose this fight. It's up against the Dark Flight player that's win streaking in the lobby, but oh, look how close this is. Oh, the Aphelios is shooting at the Zerat minion. Shioyu, do you got this? You got this. We just need one more of those true damage blasts. There we go. It's actually not true damage, as I said before. It's magic damage. But it does use that Arrow Dragon animation. So that was a critically important fight. Not only do I win to keep my modest win streak alive, which is up to 3 rounds, I end that person's win streak. So it's going to cost them a ton of econ. Like, they were on like a 7 or 8 match win streak. I think they were still on like 95 health. But I'm able to win and interrupt their win streak. So big deal. The fact that I'm able to interrupt them and stop their econing, because they're trying to push, I think they're re-rolling for Rengar 3-star, and that just means they're not going to have as much money to do that by losing them that extra money on a per-round basis. All right, now I was looking for a sword on this carousel. It's not there. In the end, I take the vest because that could be a lot of different things. That it could be used on Shioyu for a defensive item. By the way, I'm going to roll again. I'm looking to find more units. I'm trying to 2-star some of these. Well, I do hit 2-star Zippy, and then I do find another Shioyu. So I'm going to stop there. Largely because I've run out of money, but that was a good roll down there. I found Zippy 2-star, and now I have 2 out of 3 Idases, and I have 2 out of 3 Shioyus, so hopefully I can find those units as well. If I can find 2-star Idis, I'm probably good to go to level 9, but I don't quite want to push for level 9 until I can 2-star at least one of these units. Here's another fight where scouting is for the win. I saw this person had a Shroud of Stillness pointed at the left-hand side. I was like, I am clustered around the Jade statues. I do not want to get shrouded. That is one of the weaknesses of Jade compositions. They have to crowd around one point on the map, so they can potentially get shrouded. But scouting pays off in this fight. I'm able to dodge to the right-hand side, and I'm able to win the round, and my win streak continues, which is really good because I am super-duper poor right now. I have 4 gold in the bank. Again, I've been basically trying to stabilize here before trying to make the push to level 9. I really have to get to level 9. The odds of me finding Shyvana, Alshin, Aurelion Sol. By the way, Aurelion Sol would be a nice unit to play into this team comp because I'm running these evokers. I would love to drop, I don't know, one of these units, maybe the Zippy, although Zippy's tankiness is coming in handy. But I would not mind dropping one of these units for Aurelion Sol because I'm already playing into the evoker trade. 4 evoker would be pretty nice here. Well, anyway, so I will now shift back to the left-hand side. This is a really important round because I really want to win this and try to carry my win streak through into the minion round. It's worth an awful lot of gold if I do get this, and I really need to get to level 9, so I need so much gold in this game. And it's looking pretty good here. This person does have a Shyvana, but it looks like they deleted the backline, and Shyvana's not going to be able to kill my whole team, not from here. So, well, actually, it looks like that person just quit the lobby. So I was about to beat them. They're about to get knocked out of the game. So, yeah. That works, and I'm able to carry win streak through to the Treasure Dragon. Now, the item I'm most looking forward here is a sword. I want a sword here so I can make Spear of Shojin. It's a really important item on Namzi so that she will cast more often, and if you've been looking at the damage charts in these fights, Namzi is doing most of the damage. I was very tempted by this, though, because this would be a Hand of Justice, and then it could also be a Protector's Vow for the front line. Ultimately, I decided to turn that down because I do want the Spear of Shojin. And I'm actually happy with what I get here. I get Spear of Shojin. I'm going to get a Edge of Night, which is a very good item on Shioyu. This means it's more likely I'm going to keep Shioyu in the comp long term because this is such a good item on Shioyu. I also want to get a heal cut in my team comp. I don't have any heal debuff, so I'm going to go ahead and make a Sunfire Cape, which will also be a good item on the Shioyu. It's not amazing this late in the game. Sunfire is more of an early game item, but Shioyu's been surviving for a long time in these fights. And then I roll one more round, and I get lucky. I hit Shioyu 2-star. So now I think I'm confident to get to level 9. I also have an Alshin here, so I'm definitely going to be able to play this Alshin long term. But I don't think it's worthwhile to replace Namzi with Alshin right now. Don't feel like that's worth it to do. Remember, I'm very much playing into this Evoker setup. I've got the 3 Evoker right now, and I don't really have a setup for Alshin right now. So I'm going to just stick right here. I think the 2-star Namzi with a really good Evoker setup is better than a 1-star Ao-Shin with no traits in play. So we'll just sit here for the moment, and then we can always look to replace that unit later on. I also would like to get the Infinity Edge plus Spiro Shojin onto Ao-Shin. The Morellos I would actually like to get onto a Shyvana later on, because Morellos is not a particularly good item on Ao-Shin. It's a good item on Aurelion Soul, but it's not that good on Ao-Shin. So I think we'll just hold here for right now. Again, we're going to try to push to level 9, and then at level 9, we're going to try to replace some of these dragons with better legendary dragons. I think that I will keep the Idis if I can 2-star it. If I can't 2-star it, I can always replace with Terra if I can find Terra. The Namzi definitely gets, the Namzi definitely gets replaced by Ao-Shin. I just have to find Ao-Shin 2-star, and the Zippy gets replaced by Shyvana. But I think Xiaoyu stays in, and Idis probably stays in because I am getting the Guardian trait there with Rakan. I guess we'll see. It'll depend on what I hit, as always. All right, now I am on a nice 6-match win streak. I would really like to win this round, too, just to keep that going. I mean, you want to win every round, but it would be nice to keep that going. It would also get me to 20 gold, which is another even income breakpoint. Unfortunately, though, this person with the high-end shopping has really spiked on low HP. They've managed to hit the 2-star Shyvana. It's like, I think I'm just a little bit short. Just a little bit short. The 2-star Shyvana makes the difference there. That is a very, very strong unit. And they also have a very strong Xayah there in the back line. So I'm kind of hoping someone will hit that team and knock them out. Maybe the Darkflight player, because the Darkflight player has been win streaking again. But I'm hoping that someone can beat this team and knock them out for me. Anyway, yeah, I'm potentially going to hit that unit next. And they have definitely hit 8 Darkflight. So that's looking pretty strong there. They have been beating everybody else in the lobby. One thing that does help me, though, is I am kind of bunched up here in the corner, and that person is running an assassin board. So what do we do against assassins? Try to bunch up in the corner. And it looks like I'm not hitting them. I'm hitting this player, hitting an Astral player who has triple Zephyrs. What the heck? Zephyrs are pretty dangerous for my comp because I'm playing so few units on the board. When you're only playing like 6 units, if 3 of them get taken out at the start of the fight, it's pretty bad. But that said, this comp is kind of lacking in damage. They've itemized so many Zephyrs that they don't really have much in the way of damage items. And we're actually chopping through them pretty good here. Now that Xiaoyu is 2-starred, she's doing an awful lot of work as well. So even though Namzi gets popped, the rest of the team is going to be able to carry that one through. And we're going to go on to the carousel here. So in terms of the items, I wouldn't mind the Chalice. I wouldn't mind the Zeeks. Those would both be good. But I don't think that those are great for me because I'm playing Jade, and like the positioning with Jade around the statue is really weird. So I'm just going to take the Infinity Edge, just because this is going to allow me to get another crit item. I can put this on Shyvana later if I can find her, and then her Fire Breath will crit because I have the Jeweled Lotus augment. And in the meantime, Zippy actually makes really good use of Infinity Edge, so just put it on Zippy. And now he will automatically crit every single time he ults, and that's pretty good too. Plus we hit the 2-star Idis, now we're rolling. So like this is when the dragon board takes off, when all of the dragon units are 2-starred. Unfortunately that person's 3-starred their Rengar, so that's a little bit scary. But you know, I've got my dragons 2-starred, and I'm hopeful that now I can survive long enough to get up to level 9, and then find my 5-cost dragons, or what is it, they're 8-cost dragons officially? Something like that. All right, so who do we have? Oh, we've got another person. This person's basically playing the same board that I'm playing. They're also trying to go into a 4-dragon board late. They don't have a dragon augment. They're just generically trying to play into a late game dragon board. Unfortunately, they have rolled a very good item on their Ao-Shin with the binary airdrop. They rolled a rapid fire cannon, which is going to make that unit cast much more often. Oh, Namzi, can you finish off that unit? Oh, look how close that was. That unit went down to like, I don't know, 50 health or something like that, but then it was able to heal back up to full again. I was like, ah, man, so close. And I really want that person out of the lobby because they're holding dragons that I am also looking for. They have a Shyvana, they have an Ao-Shin, they have a Terra over there. So we're definitely competing for the same units. If there is one bit of good news, though, it's the person that had the high-end shopping did get knocked out of the lobby. They just said GG. So I was glad to see that person get out. They had a very strong board as well, but they didn't make their board until they were on 2 HP. Well, now that we're down to just 4 people in the lobby, I know who I'm going to hit this round, and it's going to be the Darkflight player. Remember, I beat this person before in a very close fight and ended their win streak. Well, they have been win streaking since then. I don't believe they've lost a single round since then. And Namzi, what are you doing? I tried to box up in the corner to protect Namzi, but she walks way up to the front lines and then just dies instantly. So immediately when I saw that, I was like, well, I lose this fight. I'm definitely losing this one. But then I was like, wait a minute. Rengar's getting stuck on tanks. Rengar's gotten stuck on the Idas. Xiaoyu is still alive. I was like, all right, come on, Xiaoyu. You've got the Sunfire Burn in them. You have that Edge of Night for the extra attack speed. I believe it has been triggered. And you still got that big damage burst every 4 auto attacks. Come on, there we go. Wow. So we interrupt their win streak again. This person must hate me in the lobby. I've interrupted their big win streaks twice. Yeah, they definitely are not liking me very much. Well, one thing that's good for me is I actually think I have a pretty good matchup with that Darkflight player, because their Darkflight comp is really good against a board like the Astral board that you're seeing and the other Dragon board there. Because what that board wants to do is that it wants to have Rengar and Neela jump in the back lines and then just assassinate squishy carries. But as long as I stay boxed in the corner, which remember I'm doing anyway because I'm playing Jade, I'm always boxed in the corner. As long as I'm boxed up like this, it's actually not very easy for this team to get on my carries. And you saw how poorly they did against Xiaoyu. They just really struggle against tanky units like that. All right, well, I get a Seraphine here, and I was like, you know what? Let's just play the Seraphine. I'm going to go to level 9. This will increase my shot odds. Now, obviously, I don't have gold to roll at level 9, but this puts 4 Evoker and 3 Mystic in play. So it's like, yeah, Seraphine, the god traits for my comp. 4 Evoker, 3 Mystic. The other thing Seraphine does is because she's a completely superfluous unit in this comp, she's literally just a trait bot, I can put this Zephyr that's popped out on her, and now I can position this Zephyr anywhere the heck I want because I don't care about Seraphine in these fights. So I'm up against the Astral player with the triple Zephyrs. I'm going to Zephyr out their Lux, which is the most important unit on the board for them. That's their only real damage dealer. I mean, I guess they have Shyvana, but yeah, I guess they actually have the Shyvana. Why are they? I guess they're playing Shyvana for Shapeshifter, but I still thought it was useful to take out the Lux. And once again, we beat this team the last time we hit them, and we're actually pumping right through them again. It just looks like it's not a very good matchup for their team against me, much less when one of their carries is going to get Zephyr'd. Plus, I was able to dodge their Zephyr on my Namzi in the fight. So now we're level 9. Now we're going to look for more of these dragons. You see Soam and Deja, but that's not what we want. Zippy, no, I'm not going for Zippy 3-star. I want to replace the Zippy. I'll stop rolling here. There's no point in rolling below about 7 gold because... like I can't buy the units if I can't purchase the units even if I roll down below them. It would be different if I had some gold to sell, but I don't really have units to sell right now. All right, I am up against the other dragon player, and this person's board, the most important unit to Zephyr is that Terra. They have a solo frontline Terra, so it's very important we take the Terra out of the fight, otherwise my damage dealers will just get stuck on that frontline tank, but whoop, up you go. It is a ghost round, so unfortunately we can't knock this player out even if we win, but look at Xiaoyu. Xiaoyu is run right into the back lines. Xiaoyu is on top of the, what is that, on top of the Ao Shin. And come on, can you finish that unit off? One more hit. There we go. As soon as that unit goes down, there's really no damage in this comp. I guess there's the Shyvana, but we finished that off too. And hey, my board of dragons, apparently better than your board of dragons. I mean, it's close. The Terra is very strong, but we do have that, we have that magic damage on every 4th auto attack. And that's going to be enough to win that fight. And it turns out that person got knocked out of the lobby anyway. They ended up losing the non-ghost round against the Darkflight player. So I'm rolling this down. There's more Xiaoyus, but that's not what I'm looking for. And, oh, well, there's Shyvana. Okay. Well, we can hold there. If I'm lucky, I'll win the round, then I can just buy the Shyvana for 8 gold. But, yeah, we definitely want to pick that up. I don't think it's worthwhile to play Shyvana unless I can 2-star her. I'd rather have 2-star Zippy over 1-star Shyvana. But I definitely want to start picking these units up. All right, so up against this board, what are we going to do with the Zephyr? Well, we're going to do the same thing we did in the last round. We're going to use this Zephyr on the solo frontline unit. Going to take out that Swain, who's actually really important for this team comp. And Namzi, what are you doing? Oh, Namzi runs forward again, but oh, the Zerat portal on the Idas. The Zerat portal taunts the Rengar. Rengar does not want to be hitting Idas in this fight, but Rengar gets stuck on a tank. Namzi actually stays safe, even though she walked right next to Rengar. And this is going to turn into a win, and that's going to give me the gold I need to purchase that Shyvana. There we go, past me. Good job picking this up. So I want a Dragon Carousel. There is no Dragon Carousel. That's disappointing. On this Carousel, I want the Static Shiv because that's going to be another magic debuff, but this person, perhaps well aware of that, is going to take it. And out of the remaining options, not much I can do with these. Blue buff, not really anyone who can use blue buff. So I opt to take the Last Whisper, and I'm going to put that on my Shioyu as another AD damage item. It's not particularly amazing, but I think it was the best I could do with the options that were available there. Now, another little note on positioning. Note where I'm positioning Idis in these fights. I have Idis in the back lines, and that's because this is an assassin board. I want my Idis to be in the back lines ready to taunt these assassins when they jump in. Now, also some Zephyr trickery. I'm going to put the Zephyr on the front lines, like I'm going to Zephyr the Swain again, and then at the last second, I'm going to move it into the back corner so that I can hit the Rengar. And look what they did. They swapped the Rel on the front line to tank the Zephyr, but nope. I am going to outposition them once again. Namzi runs forward yet again like an idiot, but fortunately Neela seems to be aggroed onto the Rakan. The Namzi's getting low. Come on, Namzi. All right, fortunately Namzi's going to be able to survive in these fights. Actually, Shioyu is doing a ton of damage in these fights as well, and Shioyu is tanky enough that it's very difficult for this board to kill Shioyu. Yeah, look at that. Shioyu does almost as much damage as Namzi. And then I'm going to get an Ao Shin in the stars. Like, all right, well, that's pretty good. I get another Ao Shin, but it's not quite enough. And I actually do roll down to 0 there, and the rationale for that is because if I had hit a 2-star Ao Shin in the store, I would have sold Namzi and replaced with Ao Shin. So you might be like, why do you roll to 0 sometimes and not to 0 other times? Well, this time I could have sold Namzi and picked up enough gold to buy the unit if it was in the store. All right, so time for Zephyr Trickery again. What are we going to do? Are we going to go for the Rengar? Well, this time we're going to go for the Swain again, because I figured they would probably reposition Rengar. They actually did not, but we're going to get the Swain this time. So I've been having really good luck with these Zephyrs. It's been going extremely well. All right, well, once again, I mean, this matchup just continues to kind of go the same way as before. Rengar keeps getting stuck on tanks. He cannot get onto my carries in the backlines, and the Neela and the Diana just do not do enough damage to kill my tanky units. Remember, we do get the Jade benefit. All of these units are dragons. Dragons do get bonus health. They get 500 bonus HP, and we're just winning round after round after round here. So I feel like my board just kind of counters his board. His assassins just cannot get the job done against me. Whew. Anyway, so we get a quick breather here. We are going to stage 7, and in some ways this is bad because I will knock this player out with one more victory, but because we're going to stage 7, damage goes up by enormously on stage 7. If I have a bad loss, I can actually be out on the next round too. But I will get a chance to roll for some more dragon units here. And if I can hit the 2-star Shyvana, hit the 2-star Ao Shin, I can then finally look to transition my board and get these units in. I'm going to have a decent amount of gold to roll with, so let's see if we can hit these units finally now. All right, so what are we going to get here? So we got to roll. We got to do this relatively fast. There's a Shyvana. I actually go by a Seraphine. There is Ao Shin, so now I got to get these units in. So now Shyvana comes in, but oh, I actually have to fiddle with my board because remember, you have to, the way that the ability works is I actually have to take out the Seraphine, put that on the bench, and then I can put the Shioyu back in. There we go. Now get the Seraphine back in because you actually have to have 4 dragons on the board to get the benefit. And now I'm running out of time. I need to reposition these units next to the Jade statue. All right, so that isn't quite what I wanted. I kind of wanted the Morellos on Shyvana, but it works out okay. And oh, I actually hit the Zephyr on Rengar. I don't know how that happened. I didn't even move the Seraphine. Somehow I just lucked into hitting it on Rengar. But now I've got Shyvana in, which means I have Rage Wing trait. And now I have Ao Shin in, which means he does quite a bit more damage than Namzi does. Yeah, there we go. There's the Lightning Storm. And my board actually got a lot stronger there, but it doesn't look like we're really going to get to see that. This match is just going to be over. So GG. Age of Dragons indeed. Age of Dragons for the win. This was a super fun game because I got to play a team competition I really had never played before. And yes, I did get to cap out the board with Ao Shin and Shyvana at the end of the game, which is what you typically would be playing into. But the MVPs of this game were really the Namzi and the Shioyu. These were the units that carried me through, along with having the Evoker Rakan. So I was able to get 4 Evoker in. 4 Evoker, 3 Mystic was surprisingly good in this game. So this one was a blast. I hope this one was fun to watch. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this too. Take care, folks.